It's not time for us to look at what the papers are reporting this morning, and I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Rhea, Veronica, and Etoma. Guys, interesting developments, conversations, coming up or propping up on the faces or pages of the front pages of the newspapers. The Nation newspaper has with a main headline referring to Governor Sule. Governors okay tax reform bills as passed by reps. President endorsed adjusted VAT. Senate to pass bills after recess, says Bamidele. The Nation petitions IGP, DSS, DG, Media House seeks action on land trespass, threat to life. And above the masthead, INEC declares Natasha's recall petition dead. Opponents will fight. Traffic locks down. Lagos Island, VI, non-stop chaos for 48 hours. Benin agog for Opeolo after tribunal victory, not a governor on road show. Well, talking about the tax reform bills, which has been passed by reps, and then looking for concurrence with the Senate, and then we'll have it being passed after the recess. We have been talking about this VAT, for instance, which was driven to like 12% and then 15% later on, but the governor said no, we have to maintain the 7.5% VAT and all of that. But you feel that we are getting there when it comes to tax reform policies, or the
reform itself is quite good from what I see here. It says it will address multi-layered taxation and the complexities of the current tax system, considering various legal frameworks and all that. It also is geared towards expanding our tax base to put more people in the tax net, and there's a part of it that has addressed how to tax people in the informal sector fairly. Let me say so, fairly. The one that I am really happy about is the multi-layered taxation that has been happening in Nigeria. It sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, that's right. Veronica, and just like he said, the SMEs will get a boost. People who are, for instance, earning below 1 million naira would be exempted. Good news, you think?
It's good news. Everything is always good news when it comes to things like this. But my challenge is implementation. On paper, it is wonderful. It's fantastic. But getting to the brass tacks and ensuring that everything is followed through. Do we have the database that we can differentiate who falls between what bracket, and determine, okay, this is what we are going to take from this person's, or who is not supposed to be taxed at the end of the day? How are we ensuring that these persons are in the informal or formal sector? Are we expanding the tax net to those who are termed as persons who use luxury goods, and they come into the net because they are the ones that always avoid taxation at the end of the day? So there's so much that I want to see happen with regards to this matter. The multi-level layered taxation is horrendous for persons in the informal sector. So I'd like to see how that works. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess Ria falls into the luxury kind of person. so we should tax you.
I live in poverty.
Blue black.
But for me, I was really excited for the SMEs, because we know that right now, if you earn 1 million and below, you're not going to pay tax. And this will help to curb economic hardship as well for these businesses. So I was really excited about that one. But like Veronica said, I hope it can be implemented, because when we see things on paper, we are excited, we're happy. But then again, would it be implemented? Would it really happen? But if it works, this is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, especially with the governors who are now aligning with the federal government on this. I guess it should be implemented, because it's also meant for states to look inward and generate their own revenue, and then the sharing formula is being well thought out. And next is this Nigerian newspaper, Lagos Bridge gridlock. We are sorry. Sanwo-Olu apologizes. Apology accepted, guys?
Well accepted.
No, we should be asking you.
Well accepted.
We should be asking you.
I'm also part of it now.
I'm also part of it.
She has breakfast.
I mean, you and I just felt a little,
Why
compared to this
whether
other two.
apologies are accepted or not? Yes or no?
Accepted
for now.
For now, accepted.
Until 3 o'clock, you hold it. So when it's 3 o'clock, you say, apology accepted. All right, so interesting stuff. Still on the front page of, okay, let's just move on, because we still have similar thing being reported with Daily Independent newspaper. I will sign condolence register of those who wish me dead. That's according to Wiki. You know, just few days or weeks, some days ago before the public holiday, some people were saying that Islam was, you know, airlifted to outside of the country and then being treated for Come on, even if you're fighting someone politically, why do we have to fight to finish?
Why wish them dead?
Why wish them
Why
dead?
wish them dead?
We fight dirty in Nigeria, especially if it is politically motivated. We fight dirty. But even if you're fighting, you should know where to draw the line. Wishing somebody's dead is morbid. It's it's not something anybody should do. But we find that it's common. It's unfortunate.
That's right. I wasn't aware of closure of Lagos Independence Bridge. That's according to Umahi. Counterterrorism Center hands over General Siga, 18 rescued kidnapped victims to NSA. And NCAA threatens foreign airlines over improper airlifting, deporting of Nigeria. Rhea, do you have an idea, you know, what the challenges are? Because some of these airlines, they take without necessary visa requirements and all of that. They take them and drop them halfway and deport them.
So for me, yeah, what happens to the passenger rights protection? You cannot sell tickets to someone, fly them halfway, and then send them back. And you've already taken money for tickets. Then you have to refund the ticket at that point.
Airlines,
that's what I'm saying.
Refund tickets.
I'm saying at this point,
if
I'm to travel and then I get to the place of the transit and they're sending me back to Nigeria, you would refund my ticket because I didn't get to my destination.
That's a long fight. You have legal battle.
Exactly.
Because they rarely refund, you know, you for your ticket fare and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's sad, it's bad, but something has to be done. Consumer rights protection and everyone needs to come on board to ensure that people get a refund when things like this happen.
Right, so let's move on to the Punch newspaper. Yes, now this is the conversation. Trump's tariff threatens $10 billion US-Nigeria trade. 25-year duty-free AGOA partnership in danger. Nigerian-American Commerce Chamber worries that Nigeria's crude revenue may plunge as US begins enforcement on Wednesday. Nasima raises concern. If you look at some of the countries that are taxed, some African countries include Algeria, which is taking serious hit. 59% tariff on US goods, 30% reciprocal US tariff. Namibia, 42%. Lesotho, 99%. Kenya, 10%. And Nigeria, would you now say a paltry 14%?
You see, for Lesotho actually charges 99% of U.S. goods coming to that country. What the United States is doing is that, okay, you're charging us, let us charge you too. And they are doing 50% of whatever you're charging me. You know, for those that are not charging as much as other countries like Nigeria, it's a flat 10%. You know, it will affect revenue, especially oil revenue for Nigeria. It will. But then, when I want to get angry, I said, but we also charge them for their goods, you know. So what this man is doing is looking out for his country. He wants his country to make more money, and he's scrapping, he's doing everything, checking everywhere to gather some
But if you look at AGOA, which was actually signed under, was it Bill Clinton, you know, back in the day, it was meant to help African countries and some other countries that subscribe to AGOA to also have, you know, that economic uplift. But now it looks like Trump is like, no, we're coming back for you, and then this is not going to happen. So who bears the brunt? American citizens too will have to also pay high.
See, Trump is being Trump, and he's doing what he wants to do. He will tell you those ones, their regime has passed, and what he is seeing now, what the realities on the ground right now, means that the U.S. needs to make money whichever way and however possible. And that is why he's taking the steps and measures he's taking. Remember, he said it at the beginning, that he's returning America to its golden era. And whatever steps he believes will take the U.S. back to its golden era, he will take it. So, of course, so other countries that are bearing the brunt, now we've seen some of them, you know, reciprocate, saying, okay, we waited for you to see what levels you put on us. And so we too, we are looking at how to levy back and ensure that, okay, all of us are balanced at the end of the day.
Well,
but if the bearing the brunt is everyone, At the end of the day,
at the end of the day,
the
it's
US,
the US
and the countries
and
involved, the citizens of all of these countries.
I think he's also against South Africa, because before he went on to mention other countries, he was saying South Africa. But I feel there should be this concept of quid pro quo. I think South Africa actually exports platinum, Lesotho, denim, talk about jeans, clothing stuff and all of that. So it's going to affect them. Yeah. So there should be a tit for tat approach.
Exactly. But for me, my fear is for the Nigerians that export to US. My problem is that now the products there will be relatively expensive. So Nigerians there, would they be able to even purchase the products there?
They will have to, because they need to survive. Whatever the amount is, they will need to survive to purchase it. Unfortunately, that's what the situation will be right now. The tariff is going to impact the livelihood of everyone.
Yes, so many economies will suffer, especially the developing economies. Nigerian Tribune is next. How Trump's new tariffs will affect Nigeria. We just talked about that. Another 15 killed in plateau communities. Wow, it's one death too many. Uromi, Edo Kano leaders have taken action. That's according to the defense headquarters. Above the masthead, kidnappers exposed us to military rockets. General Siga, we were kept on mountain with hyenas, snakes, scorpions.
It's never a beautiful experience to be kidnapped, even if you were kept in a mansion. These guys that are perpetrating this crime do not have mansions, so they take you to where they can. The experience is always...
No, they do have mansions, but they will take you to where
they can. So the experience is never good. When you have been kidnapped, you will now really know the value of freedom.
Veronica, we just need to deal decisively, to these guys, these criminals of our country.
Absolutely, and the word is decisive, because today we are taking this, we've brought so many persons down and all of it, and tomorrow you hear that certain persons were killed in their homes, in villages, their farmlands. One too many. Our security is, a lot of persons are concerned. Investor confidence hinges on this. If we say we want to attract investors, we need to go beyond the headlines. A lot of persons want to see results. When you're talking about risk assessment, these are the headlines they see, and they tell their persons, what, stay away from Nigeria. So it's important that we know how we address this thing and tackle it head on. So that we get what we need at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Nigerian News Direct is next. Over 60% of local government corruption cases linked to diversion of health infrastructure funds. When we talk about true federalism, you are looking at, everyone is always talking about the president. When a lot of us can reel out the national budget offhand, but we do not know the budget for states, we do not know the budget for local governments. We just seem to look away. We need to just talk about, having true federalism in a country where we hold everyone accountable, Rhea.
And also, I know that Mr. Musa, he organized and brought stakeholders together, to speak about the corruption prevention program for local governments. Now, according to him, he said it will help out to crop out the fraud that has been happening and also bring about more transparency. And then there's something he said that really caught my attention. He said any local government that is found guilty would definitely be prosecuted. So I think these are the right directions, to go to crop corruption when it comes to this particular aspect.
Sorry, let me just chip in this. There's a little twist to that. Local government has not been autonomous for so many years. So is it really the local government officials that are perpetrating this corruption, or somebody else? Do you get what I'm saying?
That is a question.
It reminds me of former President Buhari's statement saying that when he gives allocation to governors and all of it, he finds that they do something else with these monies, and what trickles down to the local government is peanuts. And I'm not indicting anybody. It was what former President
Buhari said. All right, let's quickly raise some. The Guardian newspaper is next. How vandalism, scavenging, ruin critical assets, damage economy. Yes, I think we just must touch on this very quickly. If you go to different places where you see the government laying down infrastructure, and then you find some crazy felons, moving around, stealing the iron bars, cutting the traffic lights, stealing everything from the government, and then people will still be saying, yes, the government have put it there. Why don't they also guard it? Come on. You expect Sanwo-Olu or any other governor to start sleeping on the street? Or
when you know that it will be pilfered, let's be practical. When you know that those things will be pilfered, You have to put some security arrangements.
But that thing were meant to be the security.
But
let
me say something.
The question is, why pilfer what is meant to be beneficial to you?
Exactly.
Why pilfer?
Because you're destroying your country.
They put camera to police people, and people are stealing the camera.
Do you see why mass education is very necessary? These guys that do these things just want to make some money and feed their family the next day. I'm not saying that what they are doing is correct, but that's the motivating factor.
Oh, so the politicians that are stealing us blind, they do not have education. Stealing is stealing, whether you have education or not.
No, I'm not talking about
morality has nothing to do with education.
Listen, if these guys that are stealing those things had jobs somewhere, they had other sources of income, it would have been something crazy. Stealing is bad no matter how you look at it. My point is, if government, my point is, if government knows that these things will be stolen, because it's true they will be stolen.
So are we saying, saying we should not put infrastructure in place?
Because we are afraid that
we will put infrastructure in place. The idea is you want the project to complete.
Wait, what part of the infrastructure is that they have a camera to police people? People still go ahead and steal the camera.
And who are those? Who are those buying these things from them? Because there is a market, and they are supplying the market.
It's a big chain, it's a big business, and it's unfortunate.
So if we are also serious as a government, we should go for those who are purchasing these things so that they do not have a market where they sell these things.
Once you do that, you have no right to talk about the government. You have no right to criticize the government because
we are our own problem.
Exactly.
All right,
we have just
one paper to go because of our time. Platform Times is next, and then the main headline here, Afenifere warns against indigent status bill, cites risk of ethnic tension. So what this is meant to be is that if you spend 10 years in a state within Nigeria, a locality, then you are eligible to become an indigent or a native of that place, either by marriage or anything.
And I really love this bill. Shall I tell you why? Because I can become a Nigerian after 10 years. Yay!
No, you can do it the fast way. Maybe you should get married to me.
But as what?
Second wife.
No, but for me, and this is not for I feel like it's not a bad idea, because if you stay somewhere for that long period of time, it's only right that you become part of the place.
Concerns that this could cause ethnic tension and all of it. One thing about humans is that when we have our space, we don't like other persons who we term as foreigners coming to take over. Oh, because they stayed for so long, they stayed. Even in Ghana, they don't like it too. Have you forgotten?
I know.
Before you talk, you remember there is Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London. There's Rishi Sunak, former Prime Minister, and there is Kemi Badenoch, who is also gunning for that position.
Great.
They are not indigenous, they are not natives.
Of course, they have stayed there for a while.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's in the UK. Nigeria has its peculiarities. Have you forgotten?
Veronica, it seems like you don't like this idea.
Let's hear from Etuma because of our time.
The problem there is the word indigent. Indigent connotes originality, that
ancestry.
You are their ancestry, your blood, and all that. Citizenship would have been better.
Right.
Yeah, it would have made things easier. But once you say indigene, you are asking me from Cross River State, because I've stayed in Lagos for up to 10 years.
I should claim I'm an indigene.
I like that you're honest. I like that you're honest. I don't say you're a negotiator.
I claim it.
All right, guys, because of our time, we just have to go. It's about it for the newspapers that we've reviewed this morning. We believe that we've brought you up to date with what the papers are reporting.